The Jewish people are asked, who will you serve? We don't really like to serve anybody, to be obedient to anyone else. I mean, there's a part of us that just, I want to do what I want to do. We feel constricted if we have to do what somebody else wants to do. We get up in the morning, we want to do certain things, we have our days planned out, and we find, though, often, if you're like me, a lot of frustration because it doesn't work out that way. So we see somehow obedience or to serve another, we lose something. But I learned something a long time ago, at least I think I did. When I was a younger man, right before I was ordained a priest, I went on a whitewater rafting trip. And I had never done this before. And it was exciting but terrifying. When we started going down the rapids, your immediate reaction is, we're in this boat, is to paddle backwards. Here comes the danger. I don't really want to go through this. But we had guides who told us what to do. We had practiced this. And they would say forward, left forward, right forward, back, etc. And as I'm in the front, and as we're going towards this first set of rapids, they said, right forward. I thought, go faster into this? Are you kidding me? Everything, if I followed myself, I would have backpedaled. I had to listen to someone else. And we made it through those rapids. And I have to tell you, I was filled with this euphoria. It was exciting. It was wonderful. And I thought, let's get to the next one. Let's get to the next one. And luckily, we survived all of the different rapids where some of the other rafts didn't. But this is what the Lord invites us to. The people are being asked, who do you want to serve? Do you want to serve basically yourself? Or are you going to follow another? Because if we just follow ourselves, we'll always be frustrated and it'll be difficult. Life will never open up for us. Jesus asks his disciples the same question. Do you want to leave too? He's spoken to them just prior to this gospel, in this gospel passage, about that he's the bread of life. You must feed on my flesh if you want life in you. And many people are started saying, this man's crazy. What's happened? I know, we can't follow this. We don't understand it. But he leaves it up to the apostles. Do you want to go too? So God does all this, and he invites us to himself, a relationship with him that frees us. But it's whether we choose to do that or not. Will we look at what God offers? Remember the first reading. We know what God has done. Yes, we will follow him. Jesus said, do you know what I've done for you? Will you still follow me, even if you don't understand? And it sounds like sometimes we can read this, what Peter says, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life, as if it's sort of a resignation. Well, we have nowhere else to go. But I really think it's, once we experience that when we follow Christ, we open him, I will follow you, that life becomes much more interesting, much more beautiful, more free. So when he says that, Lord, who shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. That's fascinating, right? I want this life that I can't give myself. If I just follow myself, I'll never get out of my own prison. But faith in Jesus means I trust you, and it opens us up to something we can't even imagine. So like going through those rapids, yes, if I follow someone, we'll get through, and we realize this is why I follow him, because he always gives me more, not less. And so as we celebrate the Eucharist, what Jesus is doing here at Mass is saying, follow me. And we have to say, Lord, you have the words of eternal life. Where else should we go? We want to follow you.